Do you have data in Google Sheets and wish you could turn it into a quick and simple report, including totals? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build a quick report settings tab just like this, where you can select a rep, select a month, and then see the data show up automatically in this report tab with the relevant totals. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So we have our basic data here, and then I have a tab here. I'm going to show you how to set up these selections, and then we'll create one more for our report. And so for our report, we're just going to take over the columns that we want to use. So we're going to use date, name, sector, quantity, and amount, not including rep. And so I can just take all these columns over here, and then we can just delete this rep one, and then delete the rest of our columns. Just like that. And then if you want a row above or more than one row above, and so for example here, we could just say, this is our sales rep report. And we can do a little formatting on that. Same thing here. We can do a little formatting on this. And then we want to drag this down just so it'll show up even if there's multiple pages on our report. All right, so next, to populate this, we need to have some settings. And so for example, we may want to show the month of January for the rep Katie. And so we want to be able to set that here and adjust it so we can then display it there. So first of all, let's do something called select rep. And then let's add a drop down here. So right click, drop down from range. Then I'm going to click on the select data range, click in here, and then go over my data and then start selecting in that rep column. And make sure to start at the top of the data there, and then we can remove the end row reference, the end number there. Hit OK. And then it's up to you. If you like this chip, you can go ahead and hit done. Otherwise, if you want to change it to the arrow, you can go advanced options and change that to arrow. And then that looks like this instead. So let's go ahead and select Katie. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow highlighting here just to make that a little more stand out. And then let's do a start date and an end date. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how to do a drop down selection for the month. And then here we're going to do drop down again, but this time it's going to be actually this valid date because we want to be able to double click to select a date. And so in here, we're just going to do January 2024. And so you can double click in here or you can type in, so 1/1/2024, 1/31/2024. And there's our start and end dates. So let's go ahead and turn those yellow as well. I'm going to add a little bit of border in between, just give a little distinction. We'll go a double wide border, something like that. All right, so there's our settings. And so we want to reflect what we have selected here on our final report, and then we need to add those totals. So we could use a query or a filter, and there's pros and cons of each one. I'm going to use a filter here just because it's a little faster and easier to explain. We're going to have to do one quick workaround here because we don't want the entire data set. We don't want this rep to show up. So what we're going to do here is a little workaround using an array literal. And then we're just going to do A and B. And then we're going to do comma. And then we're going to do the rest of that data set like this. So we'll do D then through F. And then, for example, we could do where this is equal to our report setting. Select rep there. So let's do a little adjustment here. And then let's just verify this real quick. So one way we could do that is we could just swap this. We could go to C and then change this to E, for example. And there's Katie. So let's just double check that real quick and then we'll fix this. Wayne, okay, so perfect, we're getting the right one. So let's reset this to where I had it. So I have B here, and then this will be D. And so there's our data based on the rep. And then we need to add that date as well. So we have that date selection here. So we just need to compare that date to this and this. So the way we'll do that is we'll add another condition in here. So we have this C is equal to this. We just need to add A is greater than or equals to and less than or equals to. So let me just pull this in here, and this will be greater than or equals to. I can click over here, the start date, and then I can basically copy and paste this, make sure to separate by a comma for each of these. And then this will be less than or equal to, and then it's that D8 instead of that D7. You can see that highlighting there. We hit enter, and voila, there we go. We have our results for January. Let's just double check here by pulling this for maybe the end of February and seeing if that pulls in. Yep, it does, just like that. And so now what we need to do is add our totals. So we could either add them here maybe, or we could drop down a row. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to drop down a row. So we have the data in here. So we have that quantity amount as an example. So let me just show you what we're going to do. We're going to, first of all, get these totals. And so let's just go down here and see if we can get a formula that'll get that same quantity. So that quantity is in column E. And so let's just get that column E back inside this filter. So there's our numbers. So 3637, 3637. So if we do sum around this, there is our total. And that's the same as selecting all these. And we can check our sum there, 124. So we have a formula that we can get that same total in, and we could do the same thing for amount. We just need a way to incorporate it into this formula. So let's go ahead and grab this formula here. And then up here, we're going to use something called an array literal. And so we used a simple version here. We're going to use the same thing. We're just going to wrap this entire formula in this. And so what this array literal allows us to do is to create our own data table. And so this allowed us to combine these two sets of columns, so these two and these three, into a table with those. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to add ourselves some rows at the bottom for these. So what we're going to do here is in an array literal like this, we separated these columns with a comma. But we want to add more rows. And so the way you do that is you do a semicolon. And so then we could create a row using our array literal. And then we need to specify how many columns we have here, because we're going to give ourselves a blank row. So the way we do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we could create some blank strings with commas in between to give ourselves a blank row. So at this point, it doesn't look like anything happened. So let's just put something in here as a test. And there you can see our test. So if we do the same thing on the other end, you can see it's populating just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this one blank. And then we're going to add one more. And then this will be where we put our totals. So maybe we'll leave the date blank and the name column blank. And then in the sector, we'll add totals. And then in the quantity, we'll add that formula I still have in my clipboard. And then we need to add one more here, and this will be our other total. So I'll just leave it blank for now. And so there's our totals with our quantity. And so I just need to come up with our amount. So that's going to be the same thing as our quantity one, which is this one here. I just need to change that column. And then let's check that out. And there we go. So we could change these to be right aligned, for example, something like that. And there we go. So now if we go to a different report, or just add more, for example, so we just added our February, and it still popped down and added those there. So let me show you how to clean this up for exporting or printing. So now if we go to download and PDF, so you can see it showing up there, but these lines don't look particularly good to me. Maybe you're fine with this, and if so, you can run with where we're at. But otherwise, you could do some adjustments on margins, the scale, and stuff like that, fit to page. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to get rid of these lines and kind of create our own framework. So view, show, grid lines, and I uncheck them. So if we go now to download PDF, you can see it's a little cleaner, and maybe you like this look. But one thing we should probably do is do something to highlight this. So we could do a couple different things, but let me just show you what we can do here. So I'm going to select some data here, go to format and conditional formatting. And then I'm going to get rid of this N range here. And then what we're going to do is maybe we could do a light background. And then let's add a custom formula. And what we're going to do here is if C3 is equal to totals. Oh, I did minus, not equals. There we go. And so that would highlight the whole row. We can bold this real quick. See what that looks like. So if you want to highlight the whole row, you can do that. Or if you only want to highlight from example C over, we can just change that apply to range, and it looks like that. I think I'm just going to do A there to E. And we can even add some underlines as well. So it's really up to you what you want to show there. I'll probably do the underlines just to highlight that. And so that looks great. The only thing we want to do as well, perhaps, is maybe add some conditional formatting like alternating rows. So I could do the alternating rows here and apply to the whole thing, but then what happens is you go to this download report and it tries to give you the whole sheet all with all the blank rows. So what I'm going to do here is actually another conditional formatting rule. And so let's go back to our conditional formatting rule. I'm just going to copy this one. And so I just clicked into it, go add another rule. And then under custom formula, first of all, let's get rid of these. And then what I'm going to do is equals and then $A just to lock it to that one. And then 3. Now, notice with both of these rules, I start with the same number here. And that's important. So that way it's comparing the right row to the right row. And so what I'm going to do here is, actually, let's do not equals to blank. And so now that's currently turning all that light gray color. If I want to do and then what we're going to do here is determine if the row is even or odd. And so let's just check out, let's do is even, and then row, and then we're going to do that A3 again, and then a couple clothing parentheses. And there we go, just like that. And so if we close it out, you can see that's working just like that. Now if we go to our download PDF, you can see that looks a lot cleaner, just like that. So we could do other things. For example, here we could adjust the date format. We come down here, find one with 2 years if you like the shorter one, and then center that and go through and maybe tweak some of this layout a little bit until we get the way we want it. Maybe we could add a little bit of white background between these column headers. You could also add it between these. So one thing here is now this looks the same as these. So I think I'm going to actually change this. So conditional formatting. I'm going to drop this down maybe 2 more levels, something like that. So there we go. So that looks pretty clean and cool there. So if we want to do a month drop down, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete these. And I'm just going to go ahead and clear the formatting. What I'm going to do instead is do it like this. And then we're going to do select month and enter year. And I still have our data validation. Get rid of that date is valid. And now I can do enter year. And then now I'll add that little border here between these, this time upright. We can clear a couple of these extra rows as well. And so here, let me just do this. We need to do a monthly drop down here. And so I'm just going to enter this real quick. All right. And then I'm going to do this one as an arrow as well. And then, for example, we can do January 2024. We can do a little quick formatting in these. And then what we want to do here is, now this isn't showing up, right? Because we just changed our dates. So we want to be able to use this instead of what we were using. And so I'm going to have to update these to refer to what we have going on here. So one thing we could do is we could build out our reference inside here. And I'll show you what that looks like, but we're going to build it here. So I'm going to add a row back here, I guess. And let's do a date value. And then we can do this. And what I'm basically doing is putting together a string like that. So January, I'm adding 1, comma, 2024. And so the reason why we do that is this date value takes a date string and turns it into a date. And so this isn't a date as is, it's just two different cells. Now this looks like a number, so you're maybe thinking we screwed something up, but in Google Sheets, it's displaying as a number. And so if we go down here to this date format here, you can see now it's turning into 1/1/24. Or we can do that if you want to make sure that you have the full year there. And so that works great. And so that gives us what we had as our initial start date. But how do we get to the end of the month? So we can just take this, put it over here, and wrap it in an end of month, just like that. So end of month and then 0 because we want the same month. And so we could just take these and put them in here, wherever we have the greater than equals to. We could do that. That's a perfectly good way to do that. Now, the one thing we would have to update is these references. So for example, if I just take this and put it over here, that C8 is now looking on this tab. So we'd have to update the C8 and D8 to report settings C8 and D8. Or we could use these two cells if you want to leave them on here, maybe turn them gray, something like that, and have those automatically generate from these, and then you could use those instead. So let's just do that just for the sake of clarity. When you're doing this, you can have a quick visual what's happening here. And so let's just change those to C10 and D10. And then close that out. And now we have the same thing working all over again. But now if we just select this, it'll cycle through those months quickly and easily. And all we have to do is select the month. We can just change the year only when needed. And it gives us a quick monthly view of that. And then we can always, again, select a different rep and see their results accordingly. All right, so that is it for today's video. Make sure to check out the other videos on our channel for more helpful tutorials on both Google Sheets and AppScript. And as always, have a great day.